I'm here with RE/MAX specialist Maria Raymer, and today she's going to tell us why a bigger down payment can be a game changer when you're buying a home. So great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
So I feel like it kind of makes sense, right? You put more down, it would be beneficial, but can you break down why that would be so helpful?
Well, I mean, in the long run, you're going to save money because you're paying less interest. So you're borrowing less money, so you're paying less interest on the money that you're borrowing. So that's just one obvious point to it. So in addition to that, people right now have a lot of equity, and that's unusual. I mean, I've been selling real estate a long time, and it was very typical for people to put the minimum amount of money down.
Right.
And many times that's all they really had, but they've gained so much wealth in equity over the past few years with their real estate investment that now they're in a position where it's very, very common to have enough money to put 20% down on the new house. And so it's tempting also to spend that money on other things, but really it is very beneficial to go with a 20% down conventional type loan.
Yeah, that would have been my question, like what's the ideal percentage? But you say the bank really recommends 20% is going to be ideal for you.
Yeah, that's typical.
That's typical.
Yeah.
All right, so how does can it affect, I guess, I should say, the rate that you get by putting down that 20%?
Yes, it does, because the bank looks at it where it's a more solid loan. And so if you're putting more money down, there's less risk to the bank.
Right, that makes
so the rate you get can be less just because you're putting more money down. Of course, they look at credit and debt and all these other things, but certainly the down payment is a big factor.
Right, okay, hey, more money saving, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
And what about the monthly payment? Will that also be able to be lowered?
Yeah, the monthly payment is going to be lower as a result of lower mortgage balance, lower interest rate. So also the payment's going to be lower because you're not going to be paying mortgage insurance. So the standard is 20% down in the banking world. You put 20% down, you avoid PMI, which is mortgage insurance. And mortgage insurance really is protection for the bank. That's the reason.
That was gonna be my next question.
Oh,
what
sorry,
exactly is that?
I jumped ahead.
No, it's good.
So, yeah, that's what mortgage insurance is. It's protection for the bank, but people don't realize, I mean, that's several $100s a month, depending on the size loan you get. So that's a huge savings if you don't have to pay PMI on a loan. So it's definitely advantageous to go ahead and put the 20% down, go with a conventional loan, and save the money on all these different fronts. Now, I want to also add to that by saying, if you have no other way to buy a house but to put the minimum amount down, do it. Don't wait years to save up a 20% deposit.
Let's say they didn't have a home the last couple of years that they didn't get that equity yet.
Good point.
So you're saying still you should just move forward because it's an investment.
Absolutely, yeah, move forward because it's one of the best investments most people ever make. It's how they build personal wealth is through home ownership. So don't wait. Go ahead and put down whatever the minimum is that you have to get in, and then in time you can refinance when you're at a 20% equity level, and then drop that mortgage insurance. So it's still advantageous no matter what it takes. Go ahead and buy a house because you're always going to be in a better financial position doing that than renting.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants more information, I know you have a blog on your website too where you talk about all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So how can they get more information?
MariaRaymer.com.
Look at that. It's just her first and last name.com. And then, of course, if they need an agent, you're available as well.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and letting us know about that, because it's kind of nice to know, like, obviously you think, okay, if I put a down payment down, of course it's going to be beneficial, but why?
Yes.
And you really broke it down how beneficial that actually can be. So many different ways to save money. So thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And if you'd like to see this interview again, everyone, just head to First Coast News Plus.